every Sunday. I also have a website where I post ASMR and non-ASMR content almost daily. You can always find it linked in my description box below, asmrxbabe.com. The last video that I posted there, and the last audio, I always try to list in my description box to give you an idea of the content. The last one I posted was a Celebri-tea, where I kind of went through Daily Mail articles, talked about Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, and Travis Kelce, Diddy, 50 Cent, Lady Gaga, all the things. So if you want to support me and get additional long-form ASMR, I only do long-form ASMR here and on my website. So if you want double the long-form, triple because of the audios, you can go to asmrxbabe.com and join. There's no commitment, and you can message me if you want. You can just watch, you can engage. It's a little community over there. So today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my Q&A, and I very much imagine there will be a part 3. That part 3 will get posted on my website. There honestly could be a part 4. I am very slow and thorough when I answer the questions that you guys ask me, but I'd like to do it in 3, because 4 is overkill, I think, although you guys like these. So I'm going to do as many as I can get to today here. I did a part 1. If you missed that last week, you can just go back to my channel, and then part 3 and potentially part 4 will be on asmrxbabe.com. So we're gonna get right into it. The next question, where I was in line on my list: any advice on stress management? I feel like you've always got so much going on, and I feel like you'd be best at this. Also, do you have any relationship advice? I'm 18 and never had a boyfriend, so I'm super nervous. Yeah, so I definitely do always have a lot going on, and I think just in general, I'm like, very, I don't know if high strung is the word, but I'm always, I don't know, I'm not usually just chilling, you know, like I'm usually pretty hyper focused on what I need to do, what's going on, what problems do I have to solve for the day, for myself or for my husband or for my family, or, you know, whatever. It's funny because I actually just watched a TikTok, and for some reason what this guy said stuck with me, and I feel like you can hear the same advice about these things over and over and over again, but randomly certain people, certain phrasing will just kind of click something in your brain. And I had been thinking about this, so I often will spiral about things, or ruminate, I guess is a better word. I will kind of replay and really think the worst case scenario, or just kind of create situations that haven't happened yet. I did this last night, and just become frazzled, and it can affect me from being able to fall asleep or stay asleep if it's really bad. But usually, you know, after time and space from the situation, it calms down. It always does. But yet it's so hard to, when you are feeling that stress in the moment, to just let yourself believe that it's going to go away. But what this guy said on TikTok was, he put it in like a scientific way, essentially kind of saying that the more you replay your stress and this narrative, like imagine like a tape in your head and like physically clicking play and just letting it roll and playing the stressful message in your head over and over, or replaying these situations that you feel anxious about or whatever. You're just like reinforcing that with your brain, and these are just thoughts, and you can't and should not trust every thought that you have. house and just like pause that tape and say, let's not listen to this right now. It's gonna be okay. Easier said than done. Difficult in practice, but I'm sure is something that I'm really looking to try to help myself, not perfect, but get better at over time. And something about the way he kind of set it up in that scientific, like, oh, it's like a psychological fact, right? That the more you're thinking about it, you're reinforcing it. So I'm like, oh, why would I want to reinforce these negative, stressful thoughts? So that's really something that stuck with me. And then also just like, really, you know, like I feel like work stresses me out or whatever, but for some things I'm good at compartmentalizing, and work is one of them. And I cannot think about work all Saturday, all Sunday. Like, I forget it exists, which is perfect, and as you should do as well. But then I'll get on Monday morning and I'll be on for an hour and let myself get so stressed out, and I'm like, what am I getting even stressed out for? Like, this is just a world inside your computer. And like, telling myself, and I'll think, oh my god, maybe I need to stay on late today because I need to get so much shit done. But then just kind of being like, I know when I've had enough. I know that like half the reason you're stressed out right now is because you are allowing this to consume you. And then almost always when I'm like, I'm out, I'm coming back to it tomorrow, I come back to it tomorrow and it feels less overwhelming. So just like remembering that, I think, is important. Relationship advice. 18, never had a boyfriend. I feel like I kind of spoke to this. I gave dating advice in my last Q&A that I did last week. Relationship advice, I guess, is different. I feel like that's such a general question, and I might skip over that and come back to it. Because I feel like I've kind of talked about, you know, my relationship and how me and Tony kind of like keep the spark and stuff in my last Q&A, but I might come back to it. Okay. Do you plan to get a pet in the future? If so, before or after baby? You guys love asking me this. No, I don't at the moment plan to get a pet in the future. Essentially, I don't want a pet. Never have. Didn't grow up with them. Just very aware of the responsibility aspect. I'm uninterested in that, as well as, you know, just the hair and the slobber and all the things. It stresses me out when things are not clean. Also, I know that these two things aside, I would end up loving this animal so much that, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to like handle it when it died. And I think it feels like you're not allowed to say that, but like, animals live 10 years, 13 years, 15 years if you're extremely lucky. And yeah, I also think it's, the responsibility of it all. Hey, though, I'll never say never, because when we went to Turks and Caicos, when we rescued these two stray puppies we found, if we had found them in like New Jersey, I would have taken them home and had them be my pets. I would not have been able to leave them. So I have that motherly instinct in me, I guess, for pets and stuff. In a financial sense, how do you know when you're ready to move out with your partner? Oh, I love this. In a financial sense, great. So I think there are different like exercises that you can definitely do. Starting with a really simple one, just sit down with your boyfriend, pull up a spreadsheet and write out, what you bring in monthly and what he brings in monthly, and then, your current like independent expenses, and then think about kind of, and map out like an example of expenses of, you guys living together. So your rent, of course, utilities, things that are smaller, even like a Netflix, your subscription to ASMRxbabe.com, like how you might want to split that up or just have your partner pay for it, or get the yearly subscription so you can save 10%, groceries, all of the things. Use AI if you need help. And for me, you don't ever want to be like of their income on, you know, rent and on their mortgage and things. Realistically, I think a good rule of thumb is like a 20% if you can, like to 30% and not go over that. So whatever your total monthly expenses are should not be greater than, like, between that 20 to 30% of what you are bringing in. Also, I think about what works for you guys and what could work for you guys as a individual couple versus, oh, we have to split everything evenly down the middle. Like, me and Tony don't split everything evenly down the middle. Number one, like, that's so tit for tat. Like, it's just like, who cares? I'm not thinking about it like that. Also, it just doesn't make sense to do that because we have pretty different incomes, and so I think you want to look at it as like a percentage versus just splitting. Talking about and making sure that they are prepared to be financially responsible, like what bills are going to be in your name, what are going to be in mine. You know, are we going to Venmo each other for all the bills, or just you take care of this and I take care of this? Like, what's a streamlined way to do it? I've talked about this. The system that me and Tony have personally is that I manage our finances. I'm just that person in the marriage. He's open to it. I like the control. It just works. And so he gives me a certain amount from each of his paychecks, and he trusts me, and he's like, do with this what you will. You know, I put some of it in rent, I put some of it in savings, I have some of it to spend, and that's kind of just what we do, and that works for us. So as long as you have, you know, the finances to be able to do it, you guys are, you know, in agreement about how that might work, you know, you should be able to do it as long as your partner's not like totally like a flake and just completely financially illiterate. So yeah. What content do you consume on YouTube besides ASMR? Love it. So I don't consume a lot of ASMR on TikTok, to be honest. Or I'm sorry, on YouTube. I might watch like a couple videos per week. I don't like necessarily subscribe. I subscribe to all of the ASMR creators, right? That I can, but I don't like look for weekly drops of different creators' videos. You of course should always look for my weekly drops. They're every Sunday, and they're around 3:15 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, by the way, if you're like chomping at the bit and needing. That is usually when I post. It's so funny because a couple weeks ago, some of you guys messaged me when I hadn't posted, and it was like 7 p.m. and you guys were like, are you okay? Are you dead? What's going on? Which was such a compliment, because it just shows that, you know, I've built this schedule and this expectation and, you know, of my cadence of when I post, you know, my long form videos, and you guys thought, you know, wanted to just make sure everything was okay, right? So I appreciated that. But I watch like kind of random, I love Alex Earl's vlogs. I like a lot, but I like vlogs with action. The only person that I will watch that is their vlogs that is just all them talking the entire time is Remy Cruz. I love her, and she inspires me to like cook or eat healthy or get organized, and she's just bright and energetic and positive. So I do love her. And like Alex Earl, I love her vlogs because her vlogs remind me of my vlogs, and it's like me watching my vlog but in somebody else. And I've always felt like this, that I just want to like see what people are doing, like see you out at the club, like see you like, you know, like a reality show more than just showing, not telling, right? So that's how my vlogs are on my website. I just uploaded my vlog to my website, and it's like a million things, and I'm so excited to see it. But Alex Earl's vlogs are great because she has some talking head and some describing, but then also there's like montages with music, and you feel like you're really there, and you like inspires you to want to go out and have fun, and like, so her vlogs I'm obsessed with. I do watch, I know it's like controversial, but like if you've known me for a long time, I've always like been a fan of Logan Paul's, not always, since like post when he was a little older, his content. Things have changed in the way that I feel, the political climate, and just that general kind of grouping of like YouTubers, oh there's a bug, content creators and like all that. Like I don't support that, but I can see Logan Paul as a creative and as a really great, like he knows production and he knows how to tell a story and entertain in his videos, and so I watch them from that lens. And now that he has started doing vlogs with his like daughter and his wife included, I can appreciate that, and thank God he had a daughter, because it's like just too much masculine toxic energy is like, you know, never good. So I do watch his. I watch his friend Mike Malak as well. His vlogs weekly, his are sometimes I roll my eyes because they're very like geared towards men and stuff, and I think that he could do a little more show versus tell as well. But I also watch like random fitness guys. Like there's this guys, the stuff I watch on YouTube is so random. There's this guy that I don't even, his name's like Will, is it Tennyson or something? He's like lives in Canada, and he does like eating 10,000 calories challenge, or like doing this workout challenge. Like he's just kind of funny and does these videos. They're like bodybuilding. I'm sure 98% of his audience is men. I also watch this guy that's English, that's really attractive, and he does like fitness and food content, and I like those videos. Couldn't tell you his name with a gun to my head. And then I'll watch like random like Vanity Fair videos and like W Magazine and Business Insider, Wall Street Journal, like how they feed people on a cruise ship, like just random shit like that. Vogue for certain celebrities I like. So every now and then I will just, you know, go down our YouTube binge watching thing, and I enjoy it a lot, but it's mostly non-ASMR content. Okay. Any advice for setting up a new apartment? I moved in and I generally put a lot of thought and effort into decorating, but I also have to balance price concerns and not being too much of a perfectionist. I feel you, girl. I've been watching for years, so I saw the process of you furnishing your super cute last apartment in your current house, but would you be able to give any advice about the process and how you balance different considerations while still making sure your space was cute, functional, and your style? Thanks. Love it. Use Havenly. I've used Havenly for everything. It's interior design, like made affordable. It's I want to say it's like $200 a room, or you can do like a mini makeover for your room just for certain things, and that's like $100 or something. They raised their price so much, don't even get me started. It used to be $100 for a full room makeover, but you take pictures of your space, you work with a designer, and you know, it's all online, and they like give you a whole like 3D rendering of your room, and they help you pick everything. You give your budget, you give measurements. Like it's great, and it's fabulous, because I am so bad at interior decor. I'm really bad at it. I'm not good at it. When I see what I like, I'm like, hell yes, but I can't often verbalize what it is that I need. I can verbalize what I need from a functional perspective of like for example, my desk that I'm at now, I used to have 2 desks, one here, one there, makeup desk, you know, work desk, and then like my big makeup thing in between. I got rid of that makeup case because I didn't have a million pieces of makeup anymore, and I knew I wanted to have space for my work computer, my personal computer, and then one monitor so I could go back and forth and just like keep them and then have my makeup. It's like I knew I wanted that, but even just me redesigning this room, which was quite literally just a desk, this thing, and like a stool. Not even the stool. I hired an interior designer because it was just easier for me to do than choosing a fucking L-shaped desk myself. Like, I like to see the rendering. I always, whenever I work with them too, like, I'll decide, should this be I'll just say like a Crate and Barrel product, or is this a Wayfair or IKEA product? And I think that even the nice furniture today is not as good quality as it used to be, unfortunately, because everything in the world is terrible quality. Love this for us and our future children. But I like decided, for example, that we wanted to get our dining room table to be CB2, Crate and Barrel, whatever, nice, like spent the money for it, and the chairs and the bench, because I felt like it was a staple, kind of like centerpiece, right? But then, like, I don't know, like, my couch is from Wayfair, this desk, I think this is like a Crate and Barrel thing, but like, still, it's getting like random stains on it that I don't know where they're coming from. There's like little, dings in it. The paint is like chipping on it right here. So it's like, just live within your budget. I would advise you not to go like super cheapy, because it will show. Like, if something feels like it's too good to be true and you're buying a whole big ass couch for your living room that's $150, $200, $300, like, you're getting a piece of shit. Like, don't bother. But you don't need to spend $3,000 on a couch, right? Like, you can get one for $1,000, or I don't know. I haven't bought a couch in a minute. I don't know what the going rate is with 10 million% inflation. But work within your budget, and also do it slowly. Like, people tend to think when they move in somewhere they need to have everything like all buttoned up and perfect. Get one thing at a time. Start with the big stuff, and then like, don't worry about accessories and stuff. Wait until you have all the furniture together, and then do the finishing touches. You can 100% furnish stuff really cute with getting shit from IKEA and Wayfair, like, facts. Okay, best advice you could give to a new social media creator regarding growth and interesting content tips and tricks. Best advice is really like what everybody says, that you do have to post quite often. I'm thinking of, when it comes to short form, starting a long form, like starting from scratch with a YouTube channel. Long form is a little tougher today. I started long form, and built my audience before short form was like really a thing. So, I've got my core audience, but for me, short form is like, driving the numbers and stuff like that. And I'm grateful that it's a thing. Otherwise, I would be just kind of probably so uninspired at this point that I might not be even doing this anymore, because the views are quite bleak. So with like TikTok or something like that, I would start, like, you gotta post a lot, but you have to be realistic about it. That realistic for the long term. And I say this, it's the same with anything. Like, if you want to lose weight, whatever you're gonna decide to, however you're gonna do it, it needs to be realistic for the long haul, or you're not gonna do it. Same with like how you organize your life, and you're like, we tend to make ourselves all these promises in life, and it's just like they're not realistic, and then you give up and you think, I can't do that, but really you didn't build it for you. So like, for me, I know I post TikToks on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I post 3 TikToks on Monday, 3 Wednesday, 3 Friday, and I film them. I have a reminder set at like, 3:30 every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I take like a quick 45 minutes to film, edit, post these 3 videos, or I might have them in, as drafts from filming previously, and I post them. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll upload to YouTube Shorts, and I'll upload a YouTube Short that's an old TikTok on, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around that same time. And that time now for me, it's like TikTok o'clock, and I don't film any mountain. You know, I have to like take breaks in between. Like I could never, for example, and I know some people do this, take all day Sunday and just film, bang out a ton of content. 3 long form YouTube videos, 10 TikToks, editing for 3 videos. Kill me. I'd sooner die. Like, absolutely not. I have to spread it out, and I have to give myself breaks in between. So knowing what's realistic for you and then like starting that schedule, I think is a huge thing that nobody really talks about, because it's a pain in the ass to do content, even when you love it, even when it's easy for you. It's a pain in the ass. I didn't feel like filming this right now. Why, you say? I don't know. It's Saturday. I have nothing else to do. Tony's not here. Like, I'm chilling. I don't have plans. But it becomes work, and then your body's just like, no, I don't want to. Now that I'm doing it, it's fine. Guess what I'm gonna love? The output, the engagement. But sometimes the filming of it, not so fun. So you have to figure out how to work that into your real day-to-day life in a way that's realistic for you. Interesting content. Sit down, think about the types of videos that you want to do, and just experiment with different things. Everyone says this, but like, it's true. Unfortunately, you're going to have to experiment and just learn from doing. I can only tell you so much. I have learned so much in my time posting, like for the past like 20 years on social media. And I'm learning TikTok and every day and every month, and pivoting, and I tried doing 2 videos a day, 5 days a week, and I wasn't really sustainable. I did that for a month or 2. It didn't really change the views. So I'm back to my 3. Like, it's like a whole big case study research project to do it, and you just gotta do it and learn. And the more you learn, the more you'll feel confident, and the more you'll be able to grow. Your goal should not be to strike gold with like your first video. That's not to say you have to post everything that you film, and that you don't need to be aware of certain things, because you do. Like, you need to be aware of timing, you need to be aware of the flow of your videos, the topics that are trending, sounds, like using, the right hashtags, using captions. Sometimes I'll see people post, like friends of mine, that they're not trying to become famous, but they wouldn't mind, I'm sure, if they, blew up on TikTok. And I'm like, people are bored in the first 3 seconds. You gotta like capture people in the first 2 seconds. Or if people do their vlogs, they're just like describing what they're doing on screen. Like, I did that, but now when I do my vlogs, I'm so much better at like my TikTok vlogs, voiceovers, like telling a story that doesn't necessarily exactly align with what we're seeing on the screen right in that moment, but just, so I'm rambling, but okay. As someone who is not from the States or never been, I find it interesting learning about people's home cities and what things are like there. It helps me visualize. So my double-barreled question is, may you please sum up Philadelphia for what you love about it, and something that you think is a miss? I've definitely talked about this before, but I think what I love about Philadelphia is it pouring rain right now? I think it is. Interesting. I did not know it was gonna rain today. What I love about Philadelphia is, I don't know, rapid fire, just naming things. Obviously, A, my family and friends are here. I grew up here, so I have a bias. B, weather and natural disasters situation. We, have all the seasons. I would love if it was a little warmer, but I'm sure I would miss the fall and winter, right, if I didn't have it. We have all the seasons. We have minimal earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, landslides, things like that. So I'm not fearing for my life when it comes to that stuff. The food is really great here. I love sandwiches. You know this. I love my hoagies. Italian food. We have such rich culture in South Philly. We have really fun and trendy, cool restaurants in Center City, and some places in like Fishtown or Kensington or whatever. And so that I love. I love that it's big, but it's not Manhattan big. I describe it as a mini Manhattan. Like, I know Jersey has like, I don't know, Jersey City or Hoboken and stuff, but it's just not the same vibe. Like, I feel like Philly feels like a true city, but it's just not as big or intimidating or expensive as Manhattan. So it's just a little easier to kind of like digest, if you will. And yeah, those are the main things. There's, it's easily accessible if you want to live in the surrounding suburbs or if you want to live in the city. Like, there's lots of options. And the people here, like, they're very connected when it comes to like our sports, like the Eagles, and it's like a Colts, but in a good way, and it's just like fun, and people have cool accents and just are funny, and I don't know, I just love it. What is a miss about Philly? I mean, Philly is not perfect. It's just like any city. I don't know if I would say like a miss, but like, I guess the things that are maybe unfortunate, like Kensington in certain areas is the heroin capital of the world, and like people will show these videos of people nodding out, and like there's like a whole series of like people calling it like zombie land and whatever, and they show that, but like if you're not from here, like like you just, I don't know, you just wouldn't go there. You don't go there, and that's not in the areas that like you would go to have dinner, meet a friend. Like, it's its own space, but that's unfortunate. I know people that have died from drug overdoses, and that I think is a universal, especially like US centric thing with the opioid epidemic, but so that's an unfortunate thing that needs to get cleaned up. And then of course there's just some other, violent crime and things. But again, I think that's just with any city. I'm just used to it. Like, I have this Citizen app where it tells you like crimes and things that are going on in your area, and I will get constant notifications that there's been a multiple homicide like 6 miles away or whatever, and it's like, that doesn't feel that far away, but like it is from like a neighborhood perspective. So like it is safe, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but just like any city, there's a lot of people, and so there's certain areas that might have a reputation for having more crime or more drugs. So that's really it. Negativity wise. Are you and Lily Whisper still friends? Miss your collabs. Me and Lily had like a really bad falling out. No, yes, me and Lily are still friends. We just had a FaceTime catch up a week ago for the first time in like forever, and we talked for like an hour and a half. We've been sending each other podcasts, aka voice notes, for the past few days, just kind of catching up because she's been so busy, I've been so busy. We said that we want to see each other in 2026, maybe like in the spring or the winter. We would go to Florida together. Her family has a home there, or she would come to Philly, or I would go to Pittsburgh. So we're gonna try to see each other soon. I saw her last year. I went to Pittsburgh to visit her last summer, but we did not see each other this year. But yeah, she's great, and when I do see her, we will definitely film a video for my website. There is a video of me and her on my website, and she has a Patreon, so she still posts on Patreon. If you really want to see her, you can find her on Patreon. So, at what age did you start working? Love it. How do you keep motivated during hard days? I also, my camera taps out at 47 minutes with these. That's when the temperature is gonna go up and tell me I have to turn it off, so I have 10 more minutes with this. I started working. I mean, I worked my whole life. I went and took like a babysitting certification course when I was like 12, and would babysit every now and then at age 12. I can't believe that, because I would never let a 12-year-old watch my kid. I don't have a say 15. Honestly, maybe even 14. I don't know. And then I worked in a farmer's market in high school. Then I worked at a Mediterranean restaurant in high school and a little bit of college. I nannied in college. I worked at Sephora in college. And then, I did like wedding makeup and stuff on my own, and proms and things. I then got my first corporate job when I was like 22. I worked there for 3 days, quit. Then took me 5 more months to find a job. Started working that, did a little bit of makeup on the side for a little bit more time, maybe like the next like 2 years or so. And then decided I was gonna retire from that and just do my corporate stuff. And then of course I've been doing YouTube and content like at all points throughout all of time, from my channel with the twins to then my own beauty channel, which that wasn't work when I just did it, but these days it is. And it started to kind of become work when I launched my ASMR channel, which was in I think 2018. So I've always worked, I've always been a hustler, I've always wanted money. I think it's good to have a goal. And, I would do chores for my mom before I could work, and so I could save enough money to like buy a cell phone, and then I would do chores to get cards to pay for the minutes for my phone and stuff. But I always had that like motivation in me. So I think what keeps me motivated on hard days is, I don't know, just the goal of, the next salary bump. I'm just being so real, guys, right? Like, I hope this doesn't come off like, I don't know, disappointing or like whatever, but don't we all just want to like earn more money so that we can have the freedom to do the things that we want to do? Buy a nice house, go on nice vacations, buy experiences that enrich our life. So that's what keeps me motivated on hard days, is knowing that next step. Like, I know right now I'm hoping that I'm going to get a promotion, and that will lead to higher salary and easier, better, more convenience in life. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy happiness and relaxation in the form of convenience. It can't bring your dead relatives back from the grave, or, help you sort out your internal depression and, things like that and drama, but it can buy you money to pay for a night nurse so you feel a little bit better about having a baby. That's what keeps me motivated. Do you have tips for an adult life, as in how do you manage work, friends, relationship, free time, trips in a way that doesn't overwhelm you? I kind of feel like I've already got into this like in a roundabout way, like throughout all of the questions. You guys know, for me, like, just balance is everything. I try to stay really organized with my calendar, with the way I do things, and just learning each day. I definitely do get overwhelmed sometimes, but even just having 1 or 2 days to kind of reset, like on a Saturday or a Sunday, makes me feel a lot better. Or having a good, rest, or, giving myself a rot day or whatnot. So yeah, I think that the reason that I am able to manage work, friends, relationships, free times, trips, I think part of me is just naturally like built towards that, and so that gives me like an advantage. And I know not everybody is built that way. Like, my husband's not built that way. He can't manage or balance as many things or as much mental load, or he's just not used to it, or, hasn't pushed himself to do so. And, I don't know, certain people not everyone's gonna have that much energy, and that's okay too. So just, I think it's about knowing what's realistic for you, pushing yourself to that, not, going over your limits, but not making excuses for yourself. And because when it comes to being an adult, you do have to like make more effort for relationships trips and cleaning and all that other shit that you didn't have to do as a kid or a teenager and you didn't care about, you know? If you could only eat 3 foods for the rest of your life, what would they be? Guys, oh my god, that's tough. Hoagies, so sandwiches, and I'm gonna make my own rule that I get to pick whether it's a turkey, Italian, like whatever. I can switch the kind of hoagie, so I'd pick hoagies in general. Oh my god, I guess I'd have to pick like, I mean, look, now you got me thinking about it from like, oh, should I pick something that's healthy and has nutrients versus me just saying hoagies, mac and cheese, and like McDonald's. Really, honestly, those are like my things that I get cravings for, or like just fast food in general. Where did you go to college? What was your major? I went to college at Penn State. My major was corporate communications. Apart from France, Italy, Greece, popular European countries, etc., is there anywhere you want to travel and visit outside of the States, or anywhere in the States you would like to see? You guys love this question. It's so funny to me. I would never think to ask that to somebody, but you guys always ask me that. P.S. I am going to Europe next year. I'm going to Venice, I think Verona, Sardinia, Marthon, France, which is like an hour and a half from Bordeaux. In the States, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I feel like it would be interesting to see certain places in the US, but like, there's just so much world, and Europe is so beautiful that I'm not like dying to go certain places in the US because I know what the experience is going to be, right? Like, I mean, yes, there's subtle culture differences, but like the landscape isn't like stunningly gorgeous like the Caribbean beaches, or, you know, the food isn't like completely and totally different. Like it is and it isn't. Like, I feel like we have really good food here in Philly, and I've had the best food in, I think the best food in the USA is definitely in Manhattan, like without a doubt. You couldn't convince me otherwise in any way. So like, I feel like I've had all that, and like, I don't know, maybe I'd want to go somewhere picturesque in the US, but like, I don't know, traveling within the US, there's not any specific place where I'm overly inspired to go, to be honest. I've been to a lot of places. I travel to certain destinations for bachelorettes and random things, and that's kind of fine with me for the moment. Maybe I'll change my tune in a few years. Outside of Europe and popular European countries, I think like Egypt would be cool to see, or, you know, just somewhere also like in just the content of Africa. I've not researched where or what or anything about it. I would go down a rabbit hole of research, you know, far in advance of that to kind of figure out, but just, you know, Africa and Asia, right? Like, they're far from me, and the culture is like, there's places where it's totally different, and so somewhere in Africa or Asia, I'd probably start with a more tourist forward destination, but right now for me, just Europe is what calls our name. We also, you know, you can only go to X amount of places. I don't know how I would do the plane ride either to somewhere that was more than like 10 hours. That would be tough, but maybe one day, right? Just right now, the focus is these more kind of conquering, you know, I guess Europe, because I only started going there in like 2019, and I'm excited to Sardinia. I'm like most excited to go to. Okay. Quick fire before, so it'll just be a part 3 because I can see how many I have left. Do you speak Italian? Would you want to teach your kids Italian? I don't speak Italian. My mom can say a few things, and I know like my mom's mom spoke Italian. My mom's grandmother only spoke Italian, like barely spoke English. English for like 6 years and I just never even, I'm just not good at it. Okay guys, I think I'm going to end it here and just save the rest for the part 3 because I'm getting deep into this. It's like we're like 50 minutes in, and yeah, so that was amazing. I love all your questions. They're so fun to answer. Thank you so much, especially the creative ones and the new ones that I feel like I haven't answered before. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you'd like to see part 3, you can join asmrxbabe.com. I know I talked about it like 17 times in this video. I'm aware. Okay, those weren't planned, but I am a marketer. Okay, just saying. So forgive me. Love you guys. Hope you have an amazing week. If you're stressed, it's going to be okay. Don't ruminate, like we said. Don't let it play over and over. Stop the negativity, pause it, and challenge the thinking. It's just a thought. We have lots of thoughts. Don't trust and believe all your thoughts, okay? Love you, and I will see you right back here. You can always